Look at him. He's just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt. Enjoy the takes. Says her whose head burns from here.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Take a Wide. This is episode 247. Episodes are brought to you by the following sponsors. If you guys can give them a follow and a like and all that shit, it helps them out, it helps me out. So let's get started. First one up is Heartbeat Hot Sauce. Heartbeat Hot Sauce is a hot sauce company from Thunder Bay that makes a fucking delicious hot sauce. They have a bunch of different types. They have a jalapeno, red habanero, a blueberry, red habanero. It's a really dope company. I've seen them grow, and the bottom line is they have some really good sauces. I think a lot of you have tried it, but if you haven't, just go to heartbeathotsauce.com, and you can check out the brands there, the types they have. You can see where you can buy it locally, and if you use promo code TakerWide5, you get 5% off of your cart. It's really helpful if you're going in with some friends and you want to save some cash. It's featured on season 6 of Hot Ones, and it's just it's a really good hot sauce. If you're a hot sauce fan, I would 100% say try Heartbeat Hot Sauce. You can listen to episode 221 to hear me talk with Al, who started the company with his partner Nancy, and it's really cool. It's just a guy passionate about hot sauce, and it's taken off. It's crazy the success these guys have had. So try them out, and you can find it all, heartbeathotsauce.com. Find them on Instagram too. Next up, we have DFA Tattoos. DFA Tattoos is a collective of driven and skilled artists, and they have a goal of creating the best tattoos. They do large-scale work, quick walk-ins, and they know that every tattoo is important to you, so they work in a variety of styles, from bold to traditional to photorealism. And they have a ton of artists that can suit any of your needs. It's a safe space, it's a clean space, it's relaxed, professional. Their dedication to the craft pushes them to achieve results that their clients can be proud to wear for the rest of their lives. You can find them at 328 St. Catherine Est in Montreal, and pop in there. I left some stickers there. If you guys want to grab a sticker, just help yourselves. Or dfatattoos.com. You can check it all out there. Find the Facebook page and Instagram page, and yeah, check out a quality tattoo shop that's doing good things. Next, we got Kevin Rigo of Hefner Toyota. He is a car salesman out in Kitchener, and he supports this. He's a rad guy, an honest man, family man. You can find him at 3121 King Street East in Kitchener. If you or someone else you know is in need of a new car, and you want to work with someone who is trustworthy and reliable and honest, go find Kevin. Just the fucking raddest dude, and mention the show. You'll get special pricing on new vehicles, which is dope, which is crazy. So Kevin Rigo. Next, we got Ironclad Graphics. It's a screen printing company in Kingston. They specialize in apparel printing. They can do a lot of other shit too. Patches, toques, stickers. They've been in the game for a long time, and they're competitive with their pricing. Every city has their own local stuff, and I feel that Kingston, the fact that they're from Kingston might turn you off, but they are competitive. They realize that competition is stiff, so they step up to the plate when it comes to that. They ship coast to coast, and I've worked with them for a long time, so very happy to have these guys on board. They printed the Taker Wide shirts, so nice little nod there. Ironcladgraphics.com. You can find more information there. Next, we got Dapper Beard Oil. Dapper Beard Oil isn't a beard oil company selling to people. They're a people company that happen to make a really good beard oil. It's 100% natural ingredients. It's all ethically sourced. It helps hydrate and repair your beard. It's antibacterial. It reduces beard dandruff. They've seen press in GQ, Huffington Post, CBC, Ottawa Citizen, Herd Magazine. They got the 3 brands. They got the Gold Tusk, the Black Tusk #2, and they have a scent-free. It's a really cool little company. I've used it. It's really good stuff. You can find out more information. Go to dapperbeardoil.com and take a look there. If you use promo code TakerWide free ship, you shave the shipping, which is awesome. So if you're looking for a nice little stocking stuffer or just a gift for yourself, go to Dapper Beard Oil. Check it out. Really good stuff. Last couple ones here. I have Wellington Brewery. They provide the beers. Wellington Brewery is Canada's oldest independently owned microbrewery. They craft award-winning beers in small batches using the freshest all-natural ingredients. They pride themselves in being an active member of the community, and they take part in countless events and they support charitable causes. They're Guelph Wellington Women in Crisis. I can't say collaboration, but what they're doing for them is 25 cents of each can of Queen of Craft Grisette gets donated to them. So just a good company, I think, with a good heart, and they also make a really good fucking beer. They have a ton of good beers. I've been sipping on a chai stout at home, I believe. I'm actually not at home right now, but a lot of great beers. WellingtonBrewery.ca, you can find out stuff there. And lastly, DaveLevittPhotography.ca. Dave's a photographer here in Cambridge, and he does really good work. If you need promos, you need help with your website, he shoots music videos as well. Dave Levitt's kind of a staple in the scene here in Cambridge, and he does really good work. So if you're looking for that type of stuff, go find Levitt. So yeah, thanks for tuning into listening to the sponsors. I need to mention that on Wednesday, December the 12th, I'm going to be doing another live stream. This one's with my friend Derek and the Walk Show. His show turns a year old, so we're going to do it together. We're gathering a bunch of stuff for giveaways. I'm going to try to be taking calls. And it was really fun, the last one I did with Mark. So, yeah, it's a Wednesday night. It's at 8 p.m. So I feel like people could tune in and still get in bed in time for Thursday. And we'll be streaming it on Facebook and Instagram, maybe YouTube, but probably those two, because I think that will work for us. But yeah, remember to mark your calendars. There's an event page up on Facebook. Just search like the Walk Show Birthday Bash. You can find it. It's on my Facebook page. I just posted it on Instagram. But yeah, hopefully you guys tune into that. So for this episode, I spoke to Dave Allan. Dave is the drummer from Windsor's Cellos. I'm in Montreal right now, and we've been doing shows with them in collaboration, and they're supporting us for our release shows for our new album. And this fucking band is amazing. It's I shouldn't be odd that they're from Windsor and they're so good, because that really doesn't make sense. But I feel like there's still like this little secret that a lot of people need to get familiar with. Amazing band. The last record, all their records rule, and I guess if you have a chance to see them, go see them. But this was recorded at DFA Tattoos. Me and Dave just sat down real quick and had a quick convo about life and kids and dads and music. And yeah, it was really fun. So this is 247 with Dave. So I'm here with Dave from Cellos. We're on day 5 of our 6-day run with these guys. And yeah, we're at DFA Tattoos. Kyle's getting his tattoo. And we were just talking about dad stuff. What is your last name?
Allan. Dave Allan.
Okay.
Yep.
And we were talking about kids and the point, and you were saying your buddy was on tour for 4 months. And what I was going to say is I don't have interest in like a 4-month tour anymore. Like, it's too long.
No. To me, I know, by the end of our show in Montreal, which, as rad as it's going to be, I know I'm going to wake up Sunday morning and be itching to get home for sure. So, yeah, I think I certainly hit my limit at, 3 or 4 days, and then you kind of feel like you're a little absent. So,
especially with a kid, right? Like, do you feel guilty ever when you're out here doing it? Like, I'm not there for my kid?
I do.
Yeah?
It's always in the back of my mind.
Huh.
And also there's a part of, being able to travel, have fun, drink beers, meet friends, and, eat good food that you kind of wish, these are things normally you might be doing with your wife or partner. So you wish you could be sharing that with them. But, sometimes you got to put that aside and remember that, the band is family too. And it's nice to go and share that with your brothers here. So
yeah. It's also, we're individuals before we're like husbands or dads. And I think it's important to not forget about that. Like, it's cool that people would commit. Like, I'm a dad now. Me and Sean were talking about this earlier today about our parents. Like, as I can say specifically my dad, where he was just so selfless. Like, he didn't have hobbies. Like, he just fucking worked for us. But I'm not that guy. Like, I'm fucking off doing this. So that's kind of like where I feel guilty. I'm like, fuck, my dad gave up everything. And gave up a little bit to do my shit.
And to that point, but funny enough, my dad was a drummer.
Oh, was he?
And he's from England. My parents are from England.
Okay.
And he sold his drum kit to move to Canada to get a factory job and raise us, my sister and I. So
does he talk about that to you guys?
Well,
like,
he did pass.
I'm sorry, man.
About a decade ago now, but at the time he would talk about it, and he always told me, even in bands I was in high school and stuff like that, he would always pick out the guys that he was like, that guy's not in it for the long haul. That guy's not in it for the long haul. And would always encourage me, like, he'd always be like, whatever you do, don't end up doing what I'm doing. Like, he was a real follow your dreams kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
And here we are still doing it. I've been doing this a long time now. And there's a part of me that knows I'm always going to do this in some capacity. Whether there's money there or not, we do it all for different reasons, but we have this innate thing that I just have to play drums in front of people. So.
That's my wife understands that this is crucial for me, really. Partially might sound blown out, but like for my mental health, like I have to do this. I'd be a different version of myself, and I think it'd be a shittier version of myself.
I would definitely be. I would be bored, and I think I would be not fun to be around if I was doing this. And I know my wife appreciates, she appreciates coming to the shows that I play. She likes watching me play.
Oh, she'll come to shows?
Yeah, and she likes the music, and she's very supportive of all of this. So, but yeah, I always kind of have that in the back of my mind of my dad always going, keep it going, keep doing it. So it's awesome. Yeah,
that's really cool. And heavy too. Like that must influence you to just absolutely be like, I'm still gonna do this for as long as I can, knowing that kind of your pops would want you to.
Yeah, and it has influenced the way we've operated as a band, in that we've always tried to make our records sound really good, make them look really good, try and put forth a lot of effort and a lot of money to make sure that what we're presenting is the best it can possibly be, and not half-ass any of it. So
yeah, it's interesting how your pops would pick out people, and I feel like, not that I have the same skill, but when someone puts out an album and you take the time, Sean talking about this again too, the little details, even as simply as I made sure that our download codes were printed in color. It's a little bit extra effort to kind of be I really care about this. So when I put it out to you, it's you're gonna know that I really fucking care about this.
Yeah, and we know with every record we've put out, I think we've been able to, once we put our records together, and we've always had these moments where, you sit in your living room before the release show and you look at what you've made, and you're you kind of look at one another and you're like, man, this is pretty damn impressive. And if I wasn't in this band, I'd be like, holy shit, look what these guys have done,
So when did you start? My fucking phone, so annoying. It's my buddies joking about stupid shit. When did you start playing? Your pops taught you?
Well, once he came to Canada, they got established, and then my
You
mom,
were born here, sorry?
I was born in Canada,
okay,
yeah.
In
And then my mom, I believe my mom bought him a drum kit again once they got here and got established. So there was always a kit around, and I don't ever remember really learning. I never took lessons, but I remember watching him play. We would have family parties, family get-togethers, and he would throw on Black Sabbath and Queen and stuff like that, and then 80s pop stuff, and he would just jump on the drums, crank the stereo, and just play along.
Wow.
And we'd have our aunts and uncles and family dancing around in the basement while he played.
Fuck.
So I've got really good memories attached to drums, and just what they can do, even just for small get-togethers with a small crew of family that actually lived over here.
That's really rad that he would put the record on loudly and play along to it.
While everybody's just dancing around. And it was great. But like I say, I don't really remember him showing me necessarily how to play, but I would sit next to the kit while he was playing and just kind of watch, and then pick up the first couple drum beats that everybody ever learns and go, wow, I can apply this to, my parents listen to great rock and roll music and classic rock and stuff like that. And once you learn, you learn one drum beat, you can play every AC/DC song. And, and then once you apply that, you're like, oh, like, okay, I'm making the connections of how these beats can be mixed into actual songs.
Would you be on your own downstairs, like just like were you like 8 years old or like when you started sitting down at the kit?
Probably about 7 or 8 that I was like really starting to sit down and just play along with
and
records.
Just on your own.
Yeah, and I would go down and put on, first song I ever learned was Paranoid, Black Sabbath.
Cool.
And would just sit there and just play it over and over, and then I'd try and do War Pigs and I couldn't learn it, and I'd get really frustrated and throw a tantrum, but yeah, from there it was just kind of got into Metallica and heavier stuff, and then it really took off with just wanting to learn Enter Sandman, and then it was like, okay, here's Slayer, and then it's like, okay, now I want to play faster and faster, and
this whole time your pops must be stoked, like, because I have a kid, we have kids, and it's like, I want my kid to play drums.
Yeah, and he's like, I know when I get on the drums, my kid Oscar, like, he watches and he dances around and he loves it.
You have
like
a kid at home? A drum kid at home?
Yeah, just a small one that I can kind of play some simple stuff on. But as soon as I start playing, he starts dancing or he's headbanging or whatever. So it's cool to see, and it all comes full circle. But yeah, I hope he gets into it, whether he plays drums or guitar. Like, I think he's going to end up being musically inclined, because even at a young age, like, we would put on Pantera or something, and for the longest time, Walk was like his favorite song.
He learned to walk to walk.
Yeah, and now it's the Transformers theme song, the old Transformers theme. He just starts headbanging to it and stuff. So he digs it. He's really into it.
Did your dad ever step in to be like, I'm going to adjust your playing and show you? Because I wonder, here's the thing I think about with my kid, where it's like, I want to sit him down and be like, here's how you play, but I don't want it to be like two same parts of a magnet, like pushing him away. I don't want to push him away from the kit, but I also want to teach him.
Yeah, I think at a certain point he kind of, I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn here by any means,
hey man,
but I think at a certain point, once I was getting into like 8th grade, high school, it was almost like I had started to surpass his skill level even, and I think he was more just like impressed and proud at that point to just be like, oh shit, look at this guy go. But he would drive us to, like, when none of us could drive, my early bands in 9th grade, he would drive us to our gigs. We would play 19 plus clubs in Windsor where they just mark our hands, and he would drive us up to those shows.
Were you doing originals or covers?
Doing originals.
What was the band called?
Disposition was that band.
Disposition?
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah, and it was kind of like a lot of Tool-ish kind of.
Did you have like a big ass kit?
I did. I had a set of bongos. I had rototoms. I had a lot of splash cymbals. It was just ridiculous.
That's awesome.
But yeah, stuff that I would never lug around these days. Mostly just because I don't have the energy for it. But But yeah, like he would drive us up
around
and help us load gear in and out and kind of take care. It always, it was nice because it was scary going to these 19 plus places when we're like 16.
This is in Windsor?
Yeah, and we didn't know what was going on and felt like, okay, we got an adult here with us. So
our chaperones.
What's the worst that can happen? But yeah, it was good memories, man.
Did he ever play like in bands and tour and stuff like that?
Not when they moved over, but in England he played in. He actually played in a band that for 2 seconds they crossed over. David Coverdale, before he went to Deep Purple.
Oh shit!
Played in a band called Government.
Okay.
And my dad played drums in that band right after, like just shortly after David Coverdale left that band to join Deep Purple.
Whoa.
So yeah. So he played in that band, and I actually do have a cassette tape of a live recording of his band. It is a Government when he played in Government, and it's like one of my prized possessions. Like I'm scared to put it in a cassette player in case it gets eaten up or whatever. But I did recently, once Cellos put out our last record and No listed the cassette, I dug out the tape player, popped it in to check it out, and that tape was still in there. So I threw it on about a year ago, and I was just like, oh, this is the best. Like,
man.
It's like full jamming organs and like just sweet old classic rock stuff. So
it's I think about that with my kid, where what I'll sort of leave him as far as like not a musical legacy, but that'll be there. You know what I mean, for him, or even like anyone I could, last year. It's terrible. I can't remember. I think it was last year we lost a friend, but his music's still around. So it's really special to have that.
That's what I think about too. I'm so glad that we've always put out proper records. Because beyond Oscar, my son, I even just think how cool it is that hundreds of years from now, somebody might be digging through some crate in a record store and they might come across our beat up old shitty stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's pretty cool to be able to leave something behind once you're gone. Getting back to my dad, just me having that cassette is like
must mean so much.
It's the best. So hopefully I don't leave Oscar with the 200 copies of our last record that are in Kyle's basement. But
sell these on Discogs, kid.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. So do you remember your first gig? Like most people usually say like it's a talent show thing, like your first time performing in front of people.
Yeah, we did
Disposition or whatever? Is that what it's called, Disposition?
Yeah. I did have a small little grade 8 band that played we invited a few friends over and played Metallica covers.
At your house?
Yeah. That was.
Did it have a name?
We were called Taiwas.
Taiwas?
What does that mean? I have no idea. Somebody else in the band named it. But I was like, all right, sure. I don't have any other better ideas. So we played, had a few friends over. But the first proper show that actually we got booked at a venue was in our, we live in a town just outside of Windsor called Kingsville.
Okay.
And we played we were grade 10. So 14, 15, and packed this little coffee shop that was down there.
Oh, cool.
And the high that we were riding forever after that. It was the best. And I mean, I think I have video footage of that somewhere. Somebody filmed it on a camera. So I'll have to dig that out sometime soon. But I'm sure it's very embarrassing. But
I'll put it on YouTube on this episode.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's funny. It's that feeling has not changed for me. Even when you play the shit shows where nobody comes or whatever.
Like yesterday.
Yeah. That wasn't that bad though. And I think the perspective has changed for us too, where we had never played Ottawa before. We've never got up there. So for us,
that was the first time for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for us, if there's 30 people in the room, to me it's just all right, well, they're here. Let's do it.
Cool.
And we just love playing our stuff. So
you can see that, man, when you guys play. Like it's such a treat to do these shows with you guys, just because yesterday. I was kind of tired, a long day. It wasn't for me. I was like, I'm not really feeling the turnout. But then watched you guys play, and it just was like, oh yeah, it's you guys are such a great band.
And that's it. There is some. I find myself having to build myself up to get on stage sometimes, especially like you're saying, I'll be looking at the turnout and be like, crap, maybe it's not going the way you want it to go, or we drove 5 hours or whatever and we're zonked.
Mm-hmm.
But something kicks in when you just count in that first song, and maybe it takes one track or two to get into it, but by the time we hit mid-set, I really feel, I can't speak for the other guys, but I really feel locked into what we're doing, and it doesn't really matter how many people are there.
You still feel it too.
Yeah.
I can tell seeing you guys, you are enjoying it. And that fucking, I forgot about you explaining that feeling after the first show. Makes me think, we did our first show in the States. I used to live up near Thunder Bay, and we played this record store, and I remember after it was the first time we did our originals. It was 4 originals, and it was such a oh my god, such a drug.
Yeah.
That, well, obviously still sticks with us to this day. It's a different version because that was the first time,
for sure.
Yeah, but that feeling is a real thing, and it's hard to describe that feeling to people who don't do it.
It is, and that's the thing when you do the shows where say 20 people come out, and if you can still make those feel good, then the ones where there's 100 or a couple hundred, I find myself our last record release, I found myself overwhelmed by it the next day, and it was my son's birthday the next day as well. So it was just a crazy weekend of emotions for that one. But it was this watching everybody like who was there. It felt like every person there was like buying the record and or
cool.
buying a shirt, and it was, I don't know. It if you can dig the shitty small ones, then the really rewarding big shows, it's just the fucking best. No better high. So
Yeah, fuck. And that's also, I think, why I want my kid to do this, to feel that and to be part of a community. I talk about this a lot, but like to be part of a community, and also that sort of setting goals and reaching goals, and you work hard and you practice and you plan and you get in a van, you buy your gear and you make sure your gear is good, and then you execute. That's a crazy feeling too.
it is. And all my best friends in life, I've met through this, through playing music. My wife I met from playing shows, and she was at a show that an old band was playing, and that's how we met. And it's even the kids that I teach a little on the side, and some of the kids will be like, oh well, I can't be a rock star or whatever, and they've got this mentality of like, it's either like you're either gonna be huge and famous, or you can't really do an in between.
I see.
And I try and tell them like, the best moments I've had in my life are have been created through me just playing drums, and the best friends I've ever met have been through that as well. So
what do they like? They obviously spark up to that,
they actually can get behind it, and they start going, oh, okay. I'm like, you can do this as a hobby. You can have this be the thing that when you go to your job that stresses you out, it can be your thing that you come home and smash on drums, and it's a release. That's what it's supposed to be. So
did you ever, like, any of your bands go super, super hard, where it's like, we're gonna do it, like, fuck everything else, we're gonna go for it?
I think the hope with Cellos when it started was to kind of go like that, but it never really, I don't know if it's being from Windsor, I'm not sure what our struggles were, but we were finding it hard to get responses as far as, hey, can we come play this city or play here? Those connections were hard to make early on, and we felt like we were getting a lot of response from people, and the record was getting around, but then it'd come to like book a tour, and it was like, oh man, we can't get anywhere. And it still kind of feels that way. So when you guys asked us to do these shows, it was like, oh wow, okay, and you're gonna book all of them? Okay. Well, of course we'll come do that. So that's why I keep telling you guys after every show how grateful we are, because it's nice to be able to go and play for this many people and go to these cities that we haven't been to before.
Oh, man,
it's
well,
awesome.
Well, it is tricky to give her a hard go. I was saying to Sean again, just like, it's amazing I found 3 other guys in the Sabatini that were willing to like lose their jobs over touring and stuff, which is crazy and hard and kind of dumb. But I don't know, I feel lucky to have done that, but at the same time, I'm glad I didn't burn myself out. I could have went harder, and I feel like for you guys in your position, even to go, I'm just thinking of the idea of talking to kids about you can do it. There's a healthy way to do it, where you have a kid and a job and a stability, but you still aren't in Montreal going to rip a gig. It's possible.
Yeah,
I kind of wish I would have. I aimed really high. It was like, we're going to fucking make it, at a lot of my own personal expense. And it's fine, but I don't know. There's like smart ways to do it. It's such a the music business is so fucked.
Well, and that's it. I think when we first got going as this band, our lives were different. Like
when did it start? Sorry.
2011.
Okay.
So it's been a while now. But I think the opportunity that was there for us to really go hard. But now it's like, Kyle's a school teacher. Vince works at the university. I've got wife, kid, all that stuff. It's just a different life for all of us now, that like going to bash out these weekday shows in God knows where, it's like to 10 people. I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of hurts to say, oh, I'm not willing to do that, but it's just, I'm not.
Which is.
And you can still, look, we're here, man. Like, we're here and you can do this by doing the weekends, and you can reach people.
Well, and it's all about the music. That's why when we were kids, we started making music because it was cool. So here we are as adults, and quote unquote adults,
Right.
and still releasing good music. Like that's the fucking purpose of it. The shows and touring is cool, but you guys can still do it. It would just warm my heart when last night talking to you guys, you're like, yeah, we got an Airbnb, and it's like, oh yeah, because they're fucking adults and professionals,
and that's it. I mean, like we booked an Airbnb and it was right around the corner from the venue, and we were so pumped to like load our gear, go around the corner, order a pizza, watch Jeopardy, have a couple beers, and get a reasonable amount of sleep and feel good this morning, Well, like all those things are kind of at the forefront of our brain now, and having a good show too. But yeah, it's just it's a totally different way of doing things.
Must be so enjoyable, like because the opposite side of that is being super far from home, for knowing there's like an extended amount of time before you get home, and you're hungry and you're sleeping on some fucking floor. Like that's it's cool in a way. But
and we did do a bit of that, like we did the parking lot sleeps in the in the van and stuff like that, and the sleeping on the floors.
Imagine doing that now.
No, I honestly can't,
and people do.
And now we plan our, like, we had to come up to Ottawa. We're planning the day ahead. We're like, you know what? Let's drive up to friends in Oshawa and cut that drive in half. Like we're thinking about our mental and physical health before anything else, and so we're in good shape to put on good shows for people. So
well, and it's enjoying it. Like why? It's difficult enough to be away from home, and even that, like especially with a kid, like to like be fucking off. But why not enjoy it? Why not make a few extra steps in planning to just maximize the fun time?
Yeah,
like
for
we get
sure.
to do the funnest thing, which is the shows. Like for me, the show is still the most important thing, the best thing. Everything else generally can fuck off. Like I love hanging with friends.
Yeah, the friends part is the best. The waiting, the driving,
all that other shit,
all that stuff.
I'm over that.
I don't care for. I like, I just want to get there. I do look forward to the restaurant. Like I like eating at cool places that I've never tried or have wanted to try and heard about. Like that's awesome. But yeah, like then you get on stage and those 30 minutes are still what it's all about. So
it is. What do you do? Do you do any prep before? Like, do you warm up before you get on stage?
Mostly I found I've had to start stretching. Yeah, mostly my neck, and because there's a lot of, I still can't stop headbanging.
Windmill.
Yeah, and I've always just played the way, like I feel like I still play drums the way I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, you definitely don't like tap the drums. You're smashing.
And that hurts a lot more now the next day.
So not so much like pad work, warming up.
No, I've never done any of that kind of thing. Mostly we try and get in like weekly practices or bi-weekly practices, and usually we stay pretty fresh like that. But just even like when I'm watching the opening bands, just kind of stretching my hands out a little bit and getting going like that. But yeah, mostly my neck too, just because I know I'm gonna wake up the next day and just feel terrible. So
yeah, I've been fucking with warming up, not warming up. I still don't really have a. You would think by now I would like know exactly how to prep for a show, but it's like even like last night it was super hard, even just mentally turn it on, like. And then we had those like technical issues at the beginning,
and that can throw you off anytime.
It totally threw me off, man. And then the sound last night on stage was weird. I'm glad that people were saying it sounded okay.
It did sound. It sounded awesome.
But it was one of those shows where I'm like, okay, I need to take all my experience and apply it to like focus on playing the songs right. The feel might not be there, but like, last night was a weird one.
It's really difficult. I find like if I'm out of that headspace, I know I don't know. I struggle with that when I know I'm not fully invested in the actual playing, or if my brain is elsewhere, or if I'm frustrated by a technical issue that might be going on, or we're getting delayed with something. So I just try and just stay focused in that zone, and that's a lot of prep too for me. Like if I know the band, I'll watch the band on before us, but my head is getting in the game at that point. So
this I want to talk about the last record a little bit. Was it tracked live off the floor, or how did you guys do it?
It was a little, God, it's been a while now. So, but I know it was a mix of both. I know we wanted to try and achieve more of a live thing. So we did. There's a couple songs on there where it's mostly all off the floor, besides the vocals, which Kyle will usually do after. But now we're feeling a little more confident in attempting, like, for the next batch of stuff.
Okay.
We've got two songs recorded that now with Vince in the band.
Okay.
Like, we are feeling a little more confident in our live playing and being able to pull that off.
Interesting.
So, and they turned out great. I mean, like, we just went in and did it all pretty fast, and some overdubs and stuff like that. But I think we're gonna try and achieve that more and more. But,
Cool.
But yeah, we've up until that point we had mostly just drums first, then the guitars, then the bass, and then the vocals, which we're fine with going that way too. But yeah, definitely want to keep achieving more of a live thing.
There's some really cool beats that you're doing throughout, like, the set and on the album. And so traditionally, like, how does it work? Where you'll get a riff and you'll, like, how much time will you spend on your beat? Is it mostly in the jam hall you guys are banging it out? Because, like, yeah, there's some, like, heady sort of drum stuff happening that I feel like might be off the cuff, or maybe it is, like, mad scientists sitting there with, like...
Yeah,
I don't know.
like, we do have limited time for kind of practicing. Like I say, we get together usually once a week or every couple weeks. But our writing is typically, like, there are songs that I will have a drum beat in my mind, and I will come, like, there's been a few songs where I've come in with almost the whole kind of thing mapped out the way I want it to go.
Really? Drum-wise?
And then Kyle will just go over it. And
Interesting.
And I'll play him the parts, or maybe he'll record the beat on his phone.
Like,
or
literally, you'll
something.
come with, like, like, you'll play it, like, here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
for
like,
the song.
what's a song? Bury Me on Highway 3 on the new record was one like that I had that whole opening sequence was my drum beat. And I said, I don't know what should go over this, but here's this sequence that I have.
Huh.
So, and it's cool. It's nice to be able to, like, because I love writing parts like that. And then, with stuff that Kyle or Vince come up with, that stuff, I'll usually go to my first instincts.
Okay.
When we just initially jam it and we'll put together stuff. I work a pretty boring job, so I'm able to have these things going on in my head, and I'm singing the parts in my head, and kind of thinking, what could I do that's maybe a little stranger or a little different on those things, and then the next jam we try and put them together.
That's
so,
cool, man.
Yeah.
It's like they're really cool drum parts, man.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. Like, I'm proud of the new album a lot. Not necessarily new now, but the last one.
When was it? Like,
it was
last
we released it last
fall,
August.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not this past one, but the one before.
Okay.
And but it took a long time to get that thing out and going, and it's nice to actually have it out there. The response was really good to it, and
how did you guys start working with Lee? How did that come together?
Lee, like, was always like this, like, big supporter of, like, we'd always see him, like, liking our stuff and whatever, and then the opportunity just came up. Like, Kyle did more of the band manager stuff there with Lee, but I just know he was a big supporter, and then we were able to work it out where he was like, what can we do for this new record, and he helped us with the cassette, and then he ended up taking some copies of the
Cool.
vinyl as
Okay.
well. So yeah,
Man, that's, like, I love.
it's pretty sweet to become part of that no
That's what I was
list
gonna say,
community.
like, It's really cool
Yeah.
that we're having this conversation now,
Yeah.
And there's that tie that's Lee, who's, like, such a important guy to what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and
Like-
I may be remembering this story wrong, but our first show was with Ken Mode, our first show ever. They came through Windsor.
Oh, wow.
And so our first show was opening for them, and they're the best.
Yeah.
So, and then we became, like, every time they come through Windsor, we would be the band who played with them.
Yeah.
and then we had finally put out a record or two, and I the first time I remember, I think Jesse had said, I need to grab, I think maybe we had just put out our 7-inch or something, and he was like, I need to grab one for Lee or whatever.
Okay.
That was kind of the first time I remember hearing about him, and he was like, oh, he's a no-list guy and all this, and to think that like we're now just part of that group of bands, and
cool.
then you know, having Not Of, but have
That
their
record
stuff,
is so good.
it's amazing, and like they've become good pals, and now you guys, it's like it's great. It's a sweet community, man. It's awesome.
It's like I'll talk about it sometimes where we do this, and you know, obviously we need to make money to keep doing it. It's not crucial, but it fucking helps. But this is like this sort of being part of, even literally just like the Nolis family is a weird reward for the hard work and the honesty that, like, I put a lot of myself into what we're doing, so it's a cool kickback.
Yeah, there's small victories what we always call them, and even early on to have like when we had put out our first record, Bomb Shelter, to see like there's that Noise Rock Now page or whatever, or like you see, I would read interviews of like dudes from Kalunwald City saying that they dug our record.
That's
and we're
cool,
like, how'd you even hear that? You know, but it's like, I liked your band even before we were a band. And so all those little things, when you get that validation from the bands that you already like, those Ken Mode guys have always been supportive, like
means a lot to me.
It does, and it makes you feel like you're doing things right, you know. I think in times where the sort of, maybe not standard, but like you put something out there and you hope people hear it and you get the feedback and it perpetuates itself. Doesn't always happen, but those type of things, it is like, okay, I'm not crazy to think that this is worth my time. Right.
Someone else likes this.
Exactly, and someone else likes it who I like what they're creating, or they've been a little bit of an inspiration and for what we're doing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's important, really important.
Fuck. Man, this is, I think we'll close this. Like, we could keep going, but I know we got to move soon. But what I'll do is play something from the artist.
Actually, I should send Vince to go pay for the
parking?
the parking.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for doing this, man.
No problem. Anytime.
Yeah.
Glad we got to do it. This has been, this whole set of shows have just been amazing for us. So, we really appreciate it.
No problem. We'll continue this conversation later, but not recorded. But yeah, make sure you don't get a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm going to close
run.
this off. Cheers, man. All right, cool, guys. Thanks for listening to the show. Actually, I'll do the Hibzine, which I'll play some music. So I was going to play Bury Me on Highway 3. Is that off the new record? Okay. I'll put that in right here. And that was that. Make sure you guys grab the Cellos record. It fucking rips. Super stoked to be doing the shows with these guys. And yeah, let me just shout out the sponsors. We have Heartbeat Hot Sauce. Use promo code TakerWide5 for 5% off your cart. DFA Tattoos is which I'm at right now. Fantastic shop. It's in Montreal, 328 St. Catherine Est. Kevin Rigo of Hefner Toyota, 3121 King Street East in Kitchener if you need a new car. Ironclad Graphics for the shirts. Wellington Brewery for the beers. Dave Levitt Photography for the love. And make sure you subscribe on whatever your podcasting app is. Find these on YouTube. The fuck else? Got the t-shirts. Just go to takerwide.com. You can find those there. Newsletter is up every Friday. She's getting sent out. And I think that's it. I don't know. Make sure you support your local musician. And I'm out of here. Talk to you guys later. Peace.